Germany's businesses are demanding that Berlin live up to its promises, putting pressure on the new government to translate its pledges into action. With just over 100 days in power, Chancellor Friedrich Merz, CDU, and his coalition have faced intense scrutiny from the corporate world, which sees a stark contrast between his campaign rhetoric and the slow pace of implementation. Merz's election platform centered on boosting business-friendly policies and economic growth, promising reforms and investments that ignited hope among entrepreneurs. This optimism was further fueled when coalition negotiations between the CDU, CSU, and SPD led to a major fiscal shift, opening the door for increased spending on defense and infrastructure. Yet, as business leaders have told CNBC, the real test lies in whether these promises will become reality. We've had at least 10, maybe 20 years of politically driven decisions that ignored business and societal needs, said Thomas Schulz, CEO of Bilfinger. The new government seems to be heading in a different direction, focusing on practical solutions rather than ideology. This sentiment echoes across industries, with Allianz's Oliver Bate praising the government's commitment to competitiveness. They're not just talking about it. They're mobilizing financial reserves for an unprecedented investment program, he said, highlighting efforts to end decades of underinvestment in infrastructure, military, and education. In July, 61 German companies launched the Made in Germany initiative, aiming to inject €631 billion into the economy by 2028. This shows a growing alliance between business and politics, noted Deutsche Telekom's Timotheus Hüttges. It's a sign that the corporate world is finally aligning with the political agenda. Recent data from the IFO Institute supports this, with company sentiment improving for 5 consecutive months. But here's where it gets controversial. While the government's intentions are clear, many businesses are frustrated by the lack of concrete action. A recent survey found that 30% of economists rated the first 100 days of the new government as rather negative, with 12% calling it very negative. Critics point to stalled reforms in social security, unclear stimulus for structural changes, and slow progress on climate goals. Business leaders have a long list of demands. Siemens' Roland Busch called for digitalization, faster decision-making, and labor market reforms. Deutsche Telekom's Hüttges urged local and federal support for fiber infrastructure development. These issues aren't just theoretical. They're tied to Germany's economic struggles. The country contracted in both 2023 and 2024, with GDP growth hovering near zero. It's about bureaucracy, education, energy prices, and global competitiveness, said Henkel's Carsten Noble. We need to turn this country from a stagnant one back into a growth engine. So, what do you think? Are these promises enough to spark real change, or is more needed to rebuild confidence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.